Hello again, Sarah the Real Simple Mama. I'm going to give you a tour of the chicken pen that we have just built this weekend. So I'm going to be putting all of these videos together, as well as having a step-by-step review slash how-to slash the price and the dimensions and everything. You can find that how-to article, just search for chicken run on realsimplemama.com. I will not put all of that cumbersome information here in the video. I just want to give you a tour of what we did. So if you haven't been following our saga, we have in South Texas here, we have 3 hens. It's all that we're allowed. They're about a year old now. There they are, eating their bollillos, their rolls. And we have our chicken coop, which is the Innovation Pet Coop Kit. I have been looking for a specific model number. No luck yet. They haven't given us any details as far as that's concerned. And our hens were free-ranging, woo, frisbee, in our whole yard. But with us having said children and and them wanting to bring their friends around, and us having dogs, and me wanting a real garden that's not just some pots that are behind a fence and looking really pathetic, we decided recently to lock them up, and that our family and our chickens, it wasn't able to work happily together. So we've built them a pen. A little bit of information going into this. We have not had a problem with predators. As you can see, we're just in a normal residential neighborhood. So, I mean, granted, there are raccoons. We have red-shouldered hawks that live about a block away, but we don't really have a predator threat. So going into that, I mean, we do predator-proof to an extent, but it's not something where we're getting birds picked off by bobcats or anything like that on a regular basis. We wanted to build something that was going to be efficient and useful and not too unsightly, but also really cheap. Because we are a family of 4 living on 1 income right now while I stay at home with our children. So I'll do a separate video that shows you about how we had to make a couple of little edits. But initially what we bought is a 50-foot roll of this stuff. It's called, with my conveniently located tag, welded wire utility fence. So this isn't chicken wire. This stuff is super, super thick. I mean, it's very difficult to bend. Like I said, it is 5 feet tall and it's 50 feet long. Here in South Texas at our Lowe's, this roll was 50 bucks, and we used exactly, there's the end of it over there. So we used 50 feet. The purpose again of this pen was so that our hens have outdoor space that is just theirs, where they can dig around and forage and, you know, eat rolls and stuff like that. But we wouldn't have poop all over the place. And, you know, our dogs would have a separate space from our chickens. Our kids could play, and even though they wear shoes outside, you know, we wouldn't be worrying about chicken poop all over the place and chickens destroying my garden. So, with that being said, if you want a designated place, the other thing I'll suggest real quick, use as many existing structures or existing fences as possible, because, you know, obviously this fence here, the wooden fence, is 6 feet. So, hey, that's 2 sides of a pen we didn't have to build. And then we also put the coop at one edge so that I can access these windows and the nesting boxes, as well as the PDZ, which is under the roost bars. I can pull that out and clean it, and I can access this window and these doors without having to go in their space. So we wanted to leave our coop with all of its predator proofing and everything we've done with that. Didn't have to move all of that. So what we did is, I will shamelessly say that we found an idea online. The name and the website is Ranch Coop, I believe. And they have an idea for making these posts that's really a good design. We modified it just a little bit. Hold on. We're outside San Antonio, and there are 5 military bases here. So as you can see, we live close to the Air Force. But anyway, so we used the basic idea and just kind of made it work for us. You can buy, I believe they have 7 posts with Ranch Coop. Again, you can find them on YouTube. I've linked to them before. Or you can find their website. They will make these pieces cut for you and ship it to you for like 120 or 150 bucks. We bought all of this wood and did it ourselves for less than 50. So for our purposes, we used, again, as many existing structures as possible. So an existing, sad, pathetic, horribly pruned pecan tree. We used 2 walls were existing fences. So I will show you briefly what we did on the build here. But essentially we paid for the wire, We paid for one dowel rod, and that's where my door is. A couple of small little things like some 12-inch galvanized nails to keep the posts in the ground. Some more like wood staples, but I mean, this was like a super cheap, super easy, and I will say, super functional so far pen. So what we did here, I'm going to give you a tour of the posts. This is the 2 points that we got from Ranch Coop that we think are fantastic is, first of all, this little piece of the 2x4. This is, God, probably only like 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches here. It turns. So right now when I've got it perpendicular to the post, it's locking and holding that wire in place. If for whatever reason I needed to take this off, I just turn it and then I can unhook that wire. The other thing, and there's my sign, yay, my friend Shannon made that. The other thing is, now this is an extra piece, so ignore that. Ooh, look, by the way, my skunk socks and my Crocs, stylish out here. These are a couple of extra pieces, but we've got basically a T-bar here on the bottom to keep this stable. And then that's the 12-inch galvanized nail. So instead of doing concrete posts into the ground or anything like that, I mean, this for all intents and purposes is as permanent as we need it to be. I mean, I don't anticipate, you know, an 80-pound coyote running in here in my fenced-in yard and making it, you know, through here. We used an extra bit of that wire to just bridge that gap between the post and the edge of the coop. So it's wrapped around so that there really is no gap there. Hey, Daddy Bird. Again, we tried to use existing structures because that means less building, less money, less work for us. So you can see we've got this a simple hook here and another simple hook there. I lift and open. So essentially this whole piece is the door. I can bend it however I want. I'm going to try to open it with one hand to show you. So I'm going to lift. Here's another jet. And open. And I can honestly, if I just go in there real quick, it's not even hooked right now, I just lay it there, and that dowel rod helps that wire be more stable, and it also gives it some more weight. So see, look at her. That's my alpha hen. She's trying to figure out how to get out. So I'll lock that back up in a minute. We used a couple of hooks right here. This is going to be a permanent side here, and as you can see, we just overlapped it just a little bit, just in case. And then our 5 foot going through here. At that fence over there, we just have the extra. There's about, I don't know, probably 1.5 foot of extra material over there that's just wrapped around to make that a seal also. There are some hawk deterrents or other like flying predator deterrents you can do. Some people have, you know, the big owl statues. I've heard that people have a lot of success with hanging CDs or DVDs or discs that will they're just like sun catchers essentially, but it confuses the hawks. I don't know if it messes with their depth perception or, I mean, I wouldn't think that they think it's a threat. But like I said, we don't have any issues with hawks. The hawks that we have around here are red shoulder. They're not red tail, they're red shoulder hawks, and they're pretty small. So I think our chickens are probably too big to even be considered prey for those guys anyway. So again, we chose to not put a roof on ours because number one, we're cheap, and number two, we thought it would be unnecessary. And just seeing what we've got here with our situation, I think it would be just a huge pain in the ass to try to get something across. Now, what you might want to do, chickens with clipped wings, or honestly, you just clip one wing, that's all you need to do. They can't fly 5 feet, so theoretically we should be good here as long as there's nothing against any of the borders, you know, any of the walls for them to, like, you know, they hop up onto one thing and then they can get over the fence. So we had to pull that tire away from the wall. And then I give you more detail, but we had to put something here on the coop roof because the coop roof, that's less than 4 feet off the ground. So the lowest point of the roof, they were able to hop up there, yes, with clipped wings. They can do 3.5 or 4 feet. And so that's where our birds were getting out. So this is essentially what we've done on our build right now. You can see all of the hacks that we've done to our coop on the other video that I've got that's coop hacks. You can learn about our feeder and our waterer and some of the other stuff that we've done. The only other thing that I wanted to say real quick, if you've not seen or understand why in the hell I have random bags stapled, it's still spring here in South Texas, and this fall and winter we had a crazy hurricane season with tons of rain, horizontal rain, crazy wind. So whether it's trash bags, tall kitchen trash bags, or it's literally the bags that your chicken food comes in, you know, their crumble or their pellets, dog food bags, or even we've been doing landscaping this weekend, potting soil bags, topsoil bags, any bag that's not just paper, you know, it's that durable non-rip plastic or whatever. Save them, and you can use them for wind blocking, you know, when it's cold. Again, on this coop, that door doesn't have any way to close, so it remains open, and your girls are sleeping up in there. Or protection from wind and rain and, you know, this space getting flooded or whatever. I've started to rip down a couple of them just so we can have more air circulation through here as it starts to get warmer. But I mean, save the bags and then you can use them again next season. All we did was use a staple gun and put them around. It looks really ghetto, but it really makes a difference in there for your birds. So that's essentially what we did for our build. Again, look at realsimplemama.com if you want more of the dimensions. I kept my receipt from the hardware store for all of these supplies, so I'm going to type up exactly what the cost of everything was, how much we bought of everything, what kind of wood, and what these measurements are. Real quickly, this is 4 feet. Those were just 1 inch or so, and then the T-bars, each of those pieces was about 1.5 feet long. So we used the 8-foot 2x4s at Lowe's. We did not get treated wood. We went really cheap because, I mean, we don't care what this looks like. It just has to be functional. And then we made 4 posts. So 4 8-foot 2x4s is all we needed. So, I mean, super, super affordable. Oh, you know what? I can't count. We ended up making 5, excuse me. So 5 8-foot 2x4s. Had Lowe's cut them in half so we could bring them home. We did the rest of the cuts. And then that 50-foot wire, and that's pretty much the main stuff that we needed, except for a couple of galvanized nails and a couple of hooks for the tree and a dowel rod. So really, really affordable because, again, we were using existing structures. But I hope this has been helpful. There's the tour of our pen, and now that we've made that adjustment to the roof, I'll do a separate video for that also. But now that we've made the adjustment to the roof, we're pretty much good here. So I'm Sarah, the Real Simple Mama. Let me know comments, questions, suggestions. There'll be lots more content coming out soon, but thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.